Introducing River District 14 Residences, the latest project by Alta Development.
So the purpose of doing this is obviously providing value for the customer primarily, for our agents and on the training side and all that. But essentially, it's just providing value to the customer. It'll be nice to go over some of the major factors that make Miami the place to invest some money right now, because at the end of the day, we have to find a solution to a problem. In my opinion, if there's no problem, there's no solution, there's no business. Right? So financially, investing the money into real estate makes sense, right? What problem is River District 14 fixing? Where in Miami is the building located, and how it differentiate from other projects, because there's a lot of projects out there. Also, like to touch on a little bit of the data that talks about the population situation in Miami, how much the population is growing with data, and not just us, saying that a lot of people are coming into Miami. It is actually proven. That, along with inventory, at Avanti Way, is no secret that we've done several sales. We believe in this building. We believe in Alta and Henry. There's a lot of credibility back there. It's not just a project that we're just telling our agents to promote to their clients.
Well, thank you, Eddie. Thank you for having this with us here. I mean, this, like you said, we really appreciate the backing of Avanti Way, primarily because they believe in the project. Like you said, Miami is so big. There's a lot of projects going on. As we know, and what we've seen with Miami, we got over 1,000 people daily coming to our city and Miami, and not only Miami, just South Florida in general. We're here in the Mecca, like they would say, Miami, and specifically our location. We're in the heart of Miami, and we're seeing this growth, and there's something to said about this growth, that property values continue, because as simple as economics as it goes, as supply and demand, we don't have the supply, and we have this huge demand from people coming outside. And more importantly, they're looking for some affordability, which we also sell in our project because of our price point that we have here.
What problem is River District 14 fixing?
Well, we're fixing what is the affordability, because yes, there is a lot of new projects going on, but a different price point. I mean, we're talking about, when we say the outskirts of where we're at, outside downtown Brickell, I mean, you're talking about $1 million plus units. Not everybody can afford that. Versus our project here, that we're just 5 minutes away from those locations, and we have units in the 600s, for 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms for 800. So yes, we are fixing affordability, but our location primarily is an attraction for the health district. Okay, because we are located in the second largest health district, and there's a huge demand for the doctors, the traveling nurses, the patients, the family members of the patients that don't have a place to stay right now close by. And as you know, this is the only short-term approved Airbnb building in the health district, where we have all this demand but no supply. And that's what we're going to fix here for those that are coming to this area now.
How exactly the short-term rental works in River District 14, and how it differentiates with the rest?
Yes, for one, in terms of supply, because I mentioned we're the only one, we're only 283 units in this area. When we step outside, when we go to like downtown and Brickell, there's over 6,000 units being built at the moment that are going to allow short-term, whether it's condo hotel. That's another component, and that's another benefit that our project has, that we are not a condo hotel. So condo hotel is 100% investor driven, meaning you got to rent it out, you have to give it to a condo hotel operator to run it. The difference in our project is that we're a residential condominium without restrictions. So you, as an owner, as a buyer here, you have that flexibility that if you wanted to rent out your unit on a monthly basis, let's say 6 months at a time or 3 months at a time to doctors, or you wanted to live in your unit, or you use it part-time, so you can use it 6 months out of the year, and the other 6 months you can rent it out. Doesn't necessarily have to be used through the Airbnb opportunity, which we have those. We have those, the Airbnb, the dailies, the short shows, so we have no restrictions. And the beauty is, again, that because we're not a condo hotel, our administration costs are much lower. In other words, all these things that will help the investor actually make money.
A lot of people think that the money is there, it's stuck there, it's not doing anything, but it's appreciating. Correct. And not only that, it's not paying taxes.
Correct.
So yeah. people don't think about this little factor, that if it takes 2 years, 3 years to build, well, guess what? You're not paying taxes.
You're not paying taxes. You're not paying a mortgage. Right, no cost, no administration fees. You're just putting your money in and it's growing. Yep.
Perfect. So you can maybe give us a real scenario what it is like to invest, let's say, on a one bedroom, one bath, den or something, one of those ideal distributions, and give us the exact details on how to get in, how much money do we need, and all that.
Yeah. So that's a great point, because there's always that investor that is kind of new to investing, wants to invest in real estate, where he does have options. He can purchase something right now, let's say like a duplex or a fourplex, and he's going to get initial income coming in immediately after he closes it. But he also has to deal with all the expenses and all the costs and everything at that time. And as of right now, as we know, the mortgage interest rates are high. So this is a benefit as buying as a pre-construction, that specifically when you buy in pre-construction, you want to buy in an area that's growing, that's developing, because the point of pre-construction is that you're buying in early. Okay, so you're buying in a location that's going to change, that in 2 years when the building is built, let's say, your values have gone up because of everything else that has changed in the area. And that's what we have here at River District. So just for instance, to give you some numbers. So right now we're in the contract phase. Okay, so a buyer that is entering in our project right now, he's going to need 20%. So let's do easy numbers. Let's go with a unit that's $600,000. So he's going to need $120,000 right now, 20% that comes in. His next deposit's going to be when we ground break. In our project, we're anticipated to ground break in August of this year. So in about 3 more months, he's going to need another 10%. So we're talking about another $60,000. Okay, so he has $180,000 now invested already. Now, the point of pre-construction is getting in early. Okay, wow. Because our prices now are not going to be the same at ground break. So when you're buying now, and somebody that drives by and sees the building being built, those units are not going to be the same price. They're going to pay a lot more because we're closer to completion. Okay, so it's very important to get in early, like at this stage. Get in early before we start the groundbreaking. Okay, so we're looking at 10% at ground break plus the 20 they gave. We're talking about 180,000, right? The next 10% deposit is going to be when the construction gets to their floor. Now that can vary depending on the unit location, but let's say it's a floor, it's on the 10th floor. Okay, the unit owner. So they're going to need another 10%, let's say sometime in June, July of next year. Okay, and the final 10% to complete 50%, that's what they're going to need. 50% is going to be what we call top off. Top off is when the building is completely built on the outside. Doesn't mean that the unit is built, it's ready to move in, because they have to do the lobbies, have to do the interior areas, and that is going to be towards the end of 2025. Okay, so they're going to have 50% of their money tied up. Okay, but based on the price that they got in early, don't want to throw any predictions or any numbers, but if you look at general real estate of what's happening in Miami, very conservative, you can say about 5 to 10% of appreciation. And that's in an area that's just standard. It's been around like that. So you're going to see that in 2 years, what they paid for their unit is going to be worth a lot more without having to deal with payments of mortgage, taxes, headaches, all the little things that come with it. So that's a plus. But when you're buying in an area of growth and development, that appreciation can be a lot more than that 5 and 10%. It can be closer to 15. Who knows what it can be? I mean, no one likes to predict anything, but they're going to be in better position now getting in here than waiting till the building is complete to buy a unit in our project.
Let's jump into really quick into the building itself. What's it going to have? What kind of amenities? What kind of distribution and finishes?
Right. So it's going to be 283 units. Okay. We're going to have 16 floors. So we're going to have a combination of studios, 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms. The studios are about 520 square feet with balcony. Our studios are complete with full kitchen, everything. Our 1 bedrooms vary in terms of square footage between 560 to 640 square feet. Again, that's only under AC because they all have their own balcony. And our 2 bedrooms vary between 850 to 915 square footage. Okay. We also have a different little separate component of units that we're not accustomed seeing down here. They're called walk-up villas. So they're on the ground level floor, and you have access to walk into your unit directly from the exterior. You can enter through the lobby, but you can also enter from the outside. Those units are a little bit bigger. They have ceilings are a little bit higher. So it's a nice component of the development of the project that we have that it's not customary to see. So our address is 1420 Northwest 14th Avenue. We're basically on 14th Avenue, 14th Street and 14th Terraces. So we're right there, hard to get lost here, 14th and 14th and 14th. But we're in the area, it's called the Health District. This is the second largest health district in the nation. Soon to be in the future, as they say, with all the expansions going on, Miami will be number one in the health district, most visited and largest. So being that we're in the health district, again, like I mentioned, we have that component to offer to that investor, that we're not only just selling or as an investment here, it's not only the tourism that comes to, we're not only relying on the tourism, we're relying as well on these hospitals that need it. So year round, you're going to get that rentability from the hospitals, but we are located in the heart of Miami. We are literally, like they say, 5 minutes. In Miami, they love to say 5 minutes, and it's really 20 minutes. From our location, it's really 5 minutes to everywhere. We have the airport, it's just 5 minutes away. We have downtown. We have Brickell, 5 minutes. We have Wynwood, 7 minutes away. Design District. So we're just located very strategically, centrally located around everything about. So we have access to all those great amenities, okay? Not only the amenities of the building, but the amenities of the city, all within 5 to 7 minutes. Very important as well, too. We have the Civic Center, which is the metro station that is a block and a half away from our development. So you fly into the international airport and you don't want to rent a car, or you don't have ability to, you jump into the metro rail and it will drop you off a block and a half away from our development. Okay, if you can't walk, the City of Miami Trolley, which is another great benefit of our location, we're a transit-oriented development, meaning we have all the public transportation right within us here, within a block. So you can jump on the City of Miami Trolley and it'll drop you off totally free right here in our location. So it's a nice benefit, very transient, very easy.
So you can essentially do that from Orlando.
Absolutely. So you can fly. That's the other very good point. That's right. So we are from the Metro Rail. We can connect to the Brightline, which is downtown. So you can come in and out. Like you said, if you're coming from Orlando, you can connect to the downtown metro station, and it'll drop you off in a block and a half away. Or vice versa. You fly in, you stay here in our project, in our development as a guest, but it's a benefit to the investor. They can stay here for about a week, and then they want to go visit Orlando. You can jump on the Metro Rail, get dropped off at the Brightline station, get down to Orlando in 3 hours, very comfortable, without having to use any driving. You don't have to. If you work, you can work from your laptop on the train. So it's very convenient, our location. But we also have the most expensive cities right around us, like Coral Gables. As you know, it was voted as one of the most richest cities, took over Beverly Hills as one of the, for real estate, as one of the most richest locations. We also have Coconut Grove. So these are all 15 minutes away from us because, like I said, we're just right in the heart of Miami, where you can have access to everything.
Right now, the alternative for a buyer or for someone that wants to rent a short-term unit, if it's a patient, if it has something to do with the hospital, what's the option right now?
Bro, they don't have many options. There's one hotel in this location that's not even as close, but it's the, I guess, the preferred hotel because it's the closest, and it's about a mile away from us here. There's not many options, and that's the beauty that our project is going to sell, that now we're giving this option to the doctor, to the patient, the family member that's coming to see a patient, a traveling nurse, that they want to stay close, and we're just a block and a half away. Literally, it starts about 700 feet from ours, where all the medical campuses, all the schools. So you have an internship, you have a medical student that's here studying in their schools, because the health district, on top of having all the biggest hospitals like Jackson Memorial, the University of Miami, we have all the research centers, we have the VA, we have the Sylvester Cancer Center, Bascom Palmer, nationwide, #1 for 21 years in the world. We also have all the medical schools. So if you're coming to get your licenses, you're going to stop through here, and they want to be here close. And this is the benefit that we're going to offer to them, that as an investor, peace of mind, knowing that you're going to have that rentability from the professional medical field right across the street is priceless, in my opinion, because it takes away a lot of the risk factor. Because let's face it, anytime you're investing, there's a risk. But having that there for them, and having the location where when there's an event that comes to Miami, Art Basel, Wynwood is just 7 minutes away from it. They can stay here. Now, let's say the new $1 billion stadium that they're building for the Inter Miami, that's 5 minutes to the west of us. We are the closest development to that project that's being going on right now, that's going to have stores, going to have a state-of-the-art stadium, where when the World Cup comes, when there's an event, they can stay in our location, because they didn't have that other options. They had a couple hotels here, like by the airport, but we all know those hotels are not meant for long stay. You're not coming in, you're not going to stay there with your family. It just doesn't make any sense. And now we're primed for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't think Citadel, one of the biggest investment funds in the world, is building a $1 billion building in Miami for no reason other than a bright future for the city. And speaking of peace of mind too, so give us really quick the credibility that Henry has as a developer.
Yeah. Yes, that's an easy sell for us here because, as you know, and especially from Latin America or from everywhere, you know, it's you want to make sure you want to feel secure and peace of mind, like we're saying about now, is who's behind the project. And we have, like I said, Alta Development. Henry Pino has over 30 years building in Miami, has an excellent reputation. He's considered a visionary. He knows the areas that are about to hit and boom and blew up before. He did that in Edgewater when he built One Paraíso. No one knew Edgewater at that time, and now it's one of the most luxurious areas on the water. You have $1 million units going up there, 5 million, Villa Miami. So all that in that area. Same thing he did in Design District when he built Cuadro Miami, another short-term rental going great for people there. He started in West Brickell, Le Parc he built. So he's done over 60 projects here in Miami between him and his team. So he knows Miami. He knows what is needed in a specific location. And then the architect, Berhard Font, another one over 65 years experience. They recently just got one of the most prestigious awards for the Ocon Tower, another beautiful project that's being built in downtown Miami. So behind the project, you have well-experienced people that know what they're doing, that they're not going to get stuck down the line. So. Absolutely. So we're expected to be delivering the first quarter of 2026. Maybe if all things work perfectly, end of 2025, but more realistically, first quarter of 2026.
26, so it's a couple of years from now. And the price ranges between?
So right now our one bedrooms are starting at about a little bit over 600,000. Okay, and then our two bedrooms are starting at about 795. Okay, right. These are two. One very important topic that we forgot to discuss is that, Eddie, as you know, 99% of the developments being built right now in Miami do not come with assigned parking spaces. Our project is one of the only few that's going to give you an assigned parking space covered in the garage. The other projects are only coming with valet parking. And our developer wanted to do something different here because he's noticing the amount of people that continuously come to Miami, that in the future, when you go to resell a unit, because it's important as an investor, there's always a time that you're going to sell your unit, that you're able to sell your unit with an assigned parking, and it's going to be invaluable, the cost of having a parking space.
Yeah, it is important to mention that even though River District 14 is located right next to a metro or train station, let's be honest, Miami is a city where you need a car. Right. It is actually a very important thing to say.
Our two bedrooms were about 900 a square foot, right? Which is another great point. We're well below anything in the urban core. We're actually the lowest price by far. I would say by a couple $200 minimum. For instance, on our two bedrooms, it's impossible right now to find for new pre-construction anywhere in Miami for under $1 million. And here you can get a 2.2 for about 800,000.
Yeah. And that's exactly why Avanti and River District 14 has a great relationship, because we get a lot of clients that say, what is the best square footage, best location for the best price, great developer, great project, great returns for River District 14 as it is. Oh yeah, by the way, so the prices that you've mentioned, depending on when you look at this podcast, so those prices are subject to change, like he said, all the time. So careful with that. That's a disclaimer right there.
And within the price range, but we forgot to mention it. Because it is short term. Again, you're flexible. You can do daily, weekly, or monthly. So you're very flexible. But you're also, as an owner, you know, we have a lot of people that love to come to Miami. They live abroad. They live in other states or another country. And they come to Miami 3 and 4 times because, let's face it, everybody loves, coming to Miami, enjoying everything that we have, all the benefits. You can stay in your unit. We're not a condo hotel. So you as an owner, you want to stay here for a month, or you know what, maybe you're buying it as an investment now, but in the future you say, I can see myself living in Miami. Let me buy something, and you move into your unit because you're able to. You have that flexibility. We're not a condo hotel. But our units come fully furnished and 100% turnkey. When I say 100% turnkey, I mean pots, pans, plates, everything you need, coffee maker, even a 60-inch TV mounted on the wall. So on top of fully furnished and fully decorated, they come ready that the day of closing, you can rent your unit out or you can move right in. If you wanted to come for the World Cup, you can stay in your unit. So it's very convenient, and that's why our project has moved so well, because it's truly 100% turnkey project.
I want a property where I can, when I'm not there, I can rent it out. I want it to make money, but I go to Miami 3 to 4 times a year, and I don't know when exactly. I don't want to have restrictions.
Right.
So I want to use
100%.
the property when I'm here. I not always have car, or even if I have to, but so I want to be nearby places and options and city and places to go to within a 5-minute range, like you said. A brand new property, right? A brand new construction, good returns. So it seems like
Checks all the
River
boxes.
District 14 fits right in there.
One big point here, talking about the location, just going back, we have River Landings. So for those that are not aware, River Landings was a $1 billion project that they finished about 3 years ago. And that backs up to the Miami River. So River Landings is a commercial, retail stores. They have some residential, all long-term, but that is only 1,000 feet from us. That's just one block. So as an investor, these are features, these are amenities that you're going to offer to that person that wants to stay here, that they can walk a block. They can go to a Publix. They have all their milk, their groceries, everything they need. There's restaurants. You can get a haircut. There's a gym. There's a pet supermarket. But importantly, you have a marina in the back that is connected to the Miami River. And as we know, and we've seen Miami River every other week, we have a new restaurant. They're revitalizing the whole entire Miami River, that many that come to Miami, they want to be on a boat. But sometimes it's not as easy. Like you have to drive to a marina. Well, if you stay here, you can walk a block away and jump on a boat. 20 minutes, you're out on Biscayne, enjoy the beaches. And on the way back, you can stop at all the famous restaurants that we have along the Miami River, like Kiki's on the River, Sea Spice, Garcia's Blancas. You have them all. So that's an amazing amenity that we have specifically for our location that you don't find any other places.
On top of being a great investment at a great location, the buyer may also have the opportunity to get a EB5 visa.
Right. Yes.
The fact that River District 14 has the EB5 component,
Correct.
in my opinion, makes the project even more special. Correct. So finish it up with that note.
Yeah, so we have 48 units. They're moving fast because, again, it's a great tool to have. It's a good channel. But overview, I'll tell you, so it's $1,050,000 is the initial investment that would be put into a River District fund. It's two separate transactions. So one would be the investment as the investor joining into the EB5, that he's going to put that $1,050,000 for jobs into, almost like a partner, almost like an investor. They're going to put that money into it, and that money they're going to put is going to be used for creating jobs, and it's going to be used for the construction of the building. So that's a separate component. And then on top of that, they have their attorney fees. But during that process, when they put in that money into that fund, the attorneys will already start the process of the visas. Okay, so they'll start with their tourist visa, their workers visa, and they can start already coming in and out after 6-7 months. And then that can eventually create or convert into a permanent residence. That can be in 2.5 years or so. That's more for the attorney to give them on the details. But on the other side is they have the ability to purchase a unit here, right? So they would purchase a unit here, and then from there down the line, simultaneously things will work together themselves out, that maybe they can, when they get this $1,050,000 returned back to them, because it's only a loan that they're lending into the fund, when they get that money back, they can also use that money if they wanted to purchase their unit that they'll be buying here. And during that process, like I said, they get the visas and they get all that. So, and we have one of the attorneys that's part of the project that we're able to do a Zoom with him. If the client, if we wanted to hear more about it, we can set up a Zoom with him, and he'll give them all the little details. The client can ask all the questions that we wouldn't be able to answer, but they'll feel comfortable and they'll understand. But yes, that's a nice component about our project now with the EB5.
Mario, thank you so much for having me. It was
Thank you,
a
Eddie.
pleasure
My
being
pleasure.
here at River District 14, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. Until the next one.